to encourage you to vote if you haven't already. Can you raise your hand if you have voted? All right. If there's anyone beside you that hasn't voted, drag them to the polls, please. Bring a friend, bring a neighbor. Listen, there was an article published a couple of days ago encouraging Democrats to vote in our Republican primary.
Right.
That's unacceptable.
Yep.
No. We have to fight to keep Texas red. And to do that, we have to get me into office.
That's right.
I am joined today with our amazing Governor Greg Abbott, and he would love to talk to you a little bit about why we're doing what we're doing and why we are fighting to close the border, empower parents, keep government small, and get us going on the right path.
That's right.
Yeah. Here is Governor Greg Abbott.
Howdy, San Angelo. Give it up for Stormy Bradley. Listen, I'm here because I know how important your future is to you. I know how important your values are. Let me tell you something that's obvious, and that is the values of the people in San Angelo are far different than the values of people over in Austin, Texas. And what you need is, you need somebody representing you in the Texas House of Representatives that you know represents the values of San Angelo, Texas. That's exactly why you need, and I need, and Texas needs Stormy Bradley to be your next state representative. I know there's one thing that she and I agree upon, and I think probably everybody in this room agrees upon, and that is we cannot tolerate 4 more years of Bidenomics and the disaster that is causing America. Look at the price of eggs. Look at the price of milk. Look at the price of gas. Look at the price of homes. Everything is going through the roof. But the reality is Texas is better positioned than any other state in America to deal with Bidenomics. And let me tell you why. Because of our economy, we had this last session an all-time record budget surplus. And one thing that I knew and wanted to ensure is that budget surplus does not belong to the state of Texas. It belongs to you. And we delivered it to you. We delivered it to you with the largest property tax cut in the history of the United States of America. Can I tell you guys something that we can just kind of keep in this room and not tell anybody else about? We can do that. So just amongst us. Tell you what we're looking at again, because of our economy in Texas, which is unlike other states' economies. When we go back into the next session, it looks like we may have another budget surplus of almost $20 billion. Stormy agrees with me that we need to take that budget surplus and return it to you with another property tax cut here in the state of Texas. You know, really, our economy, to show you the magnitude of our economy, there's only 7 countries in the world with an economy larger than Texas. You have the U.S., obviously, China, India, Japan, the United Kingdom, Germany, and France. Later on this year, the Texas economy is going to surpass France to be the 7th largest economy in the entire world. And I look forward to coming back to San Angelo and celebrating us surpassing France with a big French fry party. So one thing that I know that Stormy knows, and that is we have challenges in our state, in our country, that go beyond just economic challenges. One challenge that we see is this radical left wokeism that is sweeping the country. And it's exactly because of that I worked with the elite college swimmer, now I forgot her name, Gaines. Riley Gaines. And she, I tell you what, she came in and worked with me to make sure that we would have no men and women's sports in the state of Texas. I wish that was the only woke agenda item that we had to deal with. The fact of the matter is there's a woke agenda sweeping across our state as we speak right now to radicalize our students in our schools. Let me give you just a couple of examples. One is in the Dallas Independent School District. They have a resource guide for families to help families understand ways in which students in that school district can change their genders. That's outrageous. So I guess all these kids are making A+s and they have 100 scores and they got nothing to worry about and nothing to focus on other than their gender. The fact of the matter is that, of course, is false. The fact of the matter is what we need our schools to be doing is educating our kids on how to do better in math and science and reading and history and getting a better education. Stormy agrees with me that our schools are to educate our kids, not to indoctrinate our kids, and she will fight with me to protect our kids in the state of Texas. There's another school district to the west of Dallas. It's the Louisville Independent School District. And at a high school there is a video that's circulating showing a man teacher in that high school who's a cross-dresser in school, dressing as a woman in school. What are those kids exposed to? What are those kids learning? What are those kids thinking about when they should be learning math? They should be working on their reading, and their teacher is wearing a dress and high heels and things like that. That's the type of thing that I know in this room, if you're a parent of a child in this room, you would not want your children exposed to that in your school. But here's the challenge. Texas law currently would require you to send your child to that school and keep your child in a school where there would be a cross-dresser or where they focus on children changing their genders. I believe that violates your God-given rights to decide what school is best for your child. And that's why Stormy agrees with me as well as more than 86% of the people in this House district that we support the empowerment of parents to choose the school best for their child. But right now, you have a state representative who went against this ballot proposition. There was a proposition on the last primary ballot that asked you, do you support school choice or not? And more than 86% of the Republicans said, yes, we support school choice. But your local representative said, I don't care. I'm going to vote against that. And he did. And the fact of the matter is it harmed all schools because we had put together a package deal that one, would provide school choice for parents to be able to remove their child from a school where you have a cross-dresser or whatever the situation may be. Two, it would have added $6 billion more for public education. Three, it would have provided pay raises for our teachers across the state. And four, it would have eliminated the STAR test in the state of Texas. Stormy will work with me to make sure we deliver that to all parents across the entire state of Texas to empower and improve our education system in every community, including right here in San Angelo, Texas. But Stormy knows that the number one issue for the folks here in San Angelo is also the number one issue in the state of Texas, which is the number one issue in America. And that is, we as a state have to stand up with the backbone to fight back against Joe Biden's open border policy. It's outrageous what he's done. And know this, it seems like it's been going on forever, but the fact of the matter is it was just 4 years ago we had the lowest illegal border crossings in 45 years because Trump put into place 4 policies. The Remain in Mexico policy, Title 42 policy, end, catch, and release, and building the border wall. That's all that it took to maintain a secure border. And then Biden comes into office and removes all 4 of those policies, and then he proceeds to ignore the laws of the United States of America, leading to more than 8 million people crossing the border illegally. I want y'all to be fully informed, because if you're visiting people at an eating place like this, in your neighborhood, your church, or whatever, and there's a discussion about Biden and illegal immigration, know these 3 laws that exist on the books already, and know that when Biden told you 3 weeks ago that he needed more laws to secure the border, it was either A, lying to you, or B, did not know what he was talking about. There you go. There you go. It's like those multiple choice tests. It's either A or B, or C is both A and B. So it's both A and B. So let me tell you about these 3 laws. There's a law on the books already, passed by Congress, that requires the President of the United States to deny illegal entry to anybody into the United States. Biden's not enforcing that. He's aiding and abetting illegal entry into our country. The second law that's already on the books, passed by Congress, and that is the President must detain anybody that gets across the border illegally. Biden, yeah, exactly. He's not detaining anybody. He's setting free everybody coming across the border illegally. And number 3, there's a law passed by Congress already on the books that requires the President to build border barriers to prevent people from entering illegally. He's not building border barriers. All he's doing is trying to tear down the border barriers that Texas has built on our border. It's reprehensible. Because Biden is not following the law passed by Congress, and because he's not doing so, has posed an imminent danger to us in Texas because of the drug cartels, because we have known terrorists coming across the border, because we've had people cross the border illegally who have murdered our fellow Texans. That's exactly why I issued that declaration that under Article 1, Section 10 of the United States Constitution, I declared we are being invaded and Texas has the right to defend ourselves. So let me tell you what we're doing. One thing that we're doing is Texas is the only state in the history of America to build our own border wall. It's the exact same wall that Trump built. It's taller than the roof in this room. And the only difference is that when you look at the miles we've already put up, as well as the miles under construction, Texas is building more of Trump's border wall in Texas than Trump built in the state of Texas. Number 2, do you remember those big orange buoys that we put in the river? And you know, they were designed by the United States Border Patrol because they were effective at denying illegal entry to the country. And we put them in the river, and wouldn't you know, as soon as we did, Joe Biden filed a lawsuit to try to have them removed. Well, that lawsuit is still working its way through the courts. But as we gather in San Angelo today, those big orange buoys remain in the Rio Grande River. And then there's this island an island in the middle of the massive Rio Grande River. And it's an island that previously was filled with cane and brush and trees that were clumped all together, tighter than the people standing in this restaurant here today. And the size of the island was at least 10 or 20 or 30 times the size of this restaurant. It was huge. The cartels would use it to bring halfway across the river the people and drugs that they were smuggling, stash them on this island, and then move it into the state of Texas. Texas got tired of the drug cartels using this island, which, by the way, is land that belongs to the state of Texas. And so I ordered the Texas National Guard, go seize that island and wire it off. They first built a land bridge to the island, so the island turned into a peninsula, and then they used tractors and graders to go over that island, and they flattened everything in that island as flat as the floor on this restaurant, but made of sand. But there remains only one thing standing, and that is the flag of the great state of Texas. That National Guard, they're doing a tremendous job because now they are using the same procedure they used to wire shut that island, to wire shut more than 100 miles of our border with this razor wire that denies illegal entry. In fact, they have repelled and returned to Mexico more than 100,000 people who are trying to get into the state of Texas. And I also ordered them to go to that park that you guys have seen on Fox News. The park where you would see 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people crossing a day across our border, and then the Biden administration would hold them there until they move them across the entire country. I said, I want you to seize that park and wire that park shut. And the next morning, the park was completely shut down, wired off not only from people who were trying to cross illegally, but wired off from the Biden administration from interfering with Texas's right to secure our own land. And now, we don't have 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people crossing there a day. We don't have 1,000. We don't have 100. Over the past week, there are on average less than 10 people crossing that area. Most of them are arrested by the Texas Department of Public Safety. And listen, to better help our capabilities down there, did you see what I did last Friday? And that is, I announced that Texas is building our own National Guard military base right on the border. It'll house about up to 2,300 National Guard troops right there on the border to make sure that we're going to be able to respond more swiftly and more effectively. I talk about all this to make one bigger point, and that is, I've been telling you about kind of what's going on and what we've been doing, and there's more to it than what I described. But I would not be able to do what I'm doing if I did not have partners in the legislature. I need somebody that I can trust, somebody that I can work with, someone that works with me, not against me, to help me achieve the goals that you want to have done. And that's why I need Stormy Bradley in the Texas House of Representatives. She is a border hawk who will ensure that we do everything we can, not just to secure the border, but she will work with me to push back against Joe Biden and his regime. And just know this, unless and until Joe Biden does step up and do his job and enforce those 3 laws, Texas will continue to bus those migrants to sanctuary cities across the United States of America. So listen, I want to thank everybody for being here. You're here because you care about the future of our state. There are some young kids right here, and I care about their future. And I guess their mom or grandma or family, whatever the case may be, are here with them. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. So their mother is here. But how old is this little girl? There's a 2-year-old. Not yours, I assume, right? Right there. So listen, we need to make sure that this 2-year-old is going to have the ability to achieve the Texas dream. We got to fight back against that woke left agenda. We got to better educate our kids at school. We got to have public safety as opposed to the chaos that you see in places like New York City. And we got to secure our border and keep Texas for this little girl right here. And that means having someone going to Austin, Texas, is going to fight for you and fight for your values. Those values, as I mentioned earlier, are so unique. And I got to tell you, the issue about school choice is not the only one in which I differ from your current state representative. He voted against expanding Second Amendment gun rights. Who from San Angelo would do that? And he voted with Democrats against Republicans more than 600 times, including on criminal justice issues. I believe in using issues that will protect your safety, protect your community, make your life safer, so this dad does not have to worry about the future of his little girl or anybody else here. So that brings me to my final point, and that is, this is an extraordinarily important election. And know this election is not about me. It's not even about Stormy. This election is about you. Every person in this room here today, everybody who lives in San Angelo. This is an election where you choose your own destiny. You choose your values and make sure that you're going to be having somebody in office who represents your values. And that's why it's so incredibly important that you go vote. Because I can tell you something that's happening as we speak right now across the entire state of Texas. There are people going to vote in Republican primaries who are antagonistic to your values. And you need to show up and make sure that your values count. So when you go vote, to do it right, do not go alone. Take someone with you, a family member, a friend, a co-worker, a neighbor, whoever you can get, and go vote for Stormy Bradley to be your next state representative. So here's the deal. The deal is, as we speak, there is a nearby voting location. I saw the hands come up earlier. It looked like maybe about a third of you, maybe about a quarter of you have already voted. Mathematically, that means that either 2/3 or 3/4 of you have not yet voted. What we need you to do is to go vote. Not tomorrow, not the next day, not next week, not on March the 5th, but do what Trump said, get your vote banked early. And you can do that by voting today. So here's the deal. What I have as the closest voting location is the county elections office at the Keys building, which I have is less than a half mile away.
Yes.
Here's my point. It would take me all of about 5 to 10 minutes for me to roll over to that location. So what I know is everybody in this room can make it over to that location before those polls close today. And because you guys are such great patriots, because you are showing up here today because you want to make a difference in your community, I'm going to stay here and take photos with everyone who wants a photo, and then you go vote and vote for Stormy Bradley.